Hello scrappers and planet lovers, Tin Man here with another video. So one of my viewers asked me a question about several different lamps and the materials that they're made of, and I decided to do a video on it because I actually had a few lamps waiting to be scrapped. The nice thing about lamps is they are almost completely scrappable material. You actually find them all the time on garbage day. People get rid of them because A, they don't work, or they're missing a piece, or they're just trying to remodel their house and they want the old away and in with the new. So the first rule, you do want to check if they work. I have found tons of them that actually work. I've actually donated a number of them to Goodwills and other types of places like that so that they could be used again, which is great. These 5 that you see behind me do not work. And the nice thing about some of these lamps is they actually have a nice chunk of brass on them, as well as other pieces of steel or other metals. So what I want to do today is I want to go through some of the material, hopefully help you identify the material, and more importantly, maximize your profit and divert these away from the landfill. So the first thing, I also do see a lot of times people will drive by and just take the cord that you see here. These cords are a great price. This would be going right now for 60% copper recovery, which is about $2.13 a pound. So that's a great score here. But there is more of this wire inside of them. These wires will actually run all the way up the neck to the end piece, and you know, that's probably almost double the weight if you take the time to take it apart. As well, you do have other materials. So a lot of times they are decorative to look like a certain type of metal. So these actually look like brass, but a simple test, taking up a magnet to it. If I put a magnet to it, you can see the magnet sticks. So this, unfortunately, is not brass. This is steel. Brass is non-magnetic. But the nice thing about steel right now, steel is also going for about 10 to 13 cents a pound, which is also a great price. I've never seen it at that price. So a lot of this, as you can see, can be scrapped as well. There is a little bit of glass, unfortunately. I have been able to bring these in like this if you know, the bolt was really worn on it to underneath to try and get the wire out of it. So they will take these like this at a scrapyard because there is a lot of metal still on that. So again, diverting this whole thing. Unfortunately, this is a beautiful piece with glass. Like I said, very ornate. It is unfortunate that it doesn't work, but again, some really nice steel on this. This desk lamp here, I had to laugh. My twin actually told me, do not scrap this for the video. This actually does work. This is my old desk lamp. It still works. And this is actually, the base is brass. I do not want to scratch this for this video just to show you. But there are a couple scratches on here from when we were kids. My twin said very clearly, if you scrap this, Mom will get you. So I am not scrapping it, Mom, don't worry. This is workable. But this one, if I take a magnet to it, you can see it does not stick. There are, as I said, a couple scratches that I can see underneath the layer is gold, which is great. So this is brass. Don't worry, Mom. This one, again, this looks like brass. If I put a magnet to it, it is non-magnetic, okay? But before I assume that it is brass, the other test that I have to do is called the scratch test, okay? If I was to take a file like this and scratch this, brass underneath the top surface would still be a gold look. So just gonna scratch this one because this one doesn't work. And as you can see right there, it's harder to see, but that is a metallic look underneath. So that actually is not brass. It's meant to look like brass. This is probably pewter. If I look on the bottom, it doesn't actually say, but I can bring this in as pewter. It's not worth a lot, but it is worth something. I could also put it into my cast aluminum, use it with my frying pans and stuff. And because it's not very heavy, they may just throw it off to the side and give me a couple cents for it, or they'll just leave it in there. Cast aluminum right now is about 50 cents a pound. Actually, I believe it is cast aluminum. So again, 50 cents a pound. And it is as well. You've got your nice cord here. Once I remove the nut here, I can remove the bottom piece. It's very loose. The top piece just unscrews. And this wire will go all the way up to the neck. As well, this headpiece, usually there is a little bit of brass in there. These are usually aluminum. This one is plastic, I can tell. But some of them are aluminum inside. Right here, the outer shell is plastic, but the inner shell is aluminum. So that aluminum right now is going for 40 to 50 cents a pound as well. So that's great to divert it. But again, this is not brass. You definitely want to do the scratch test. And you do see different varieties. Here's another piece off of a different lamp. I did keep this for the video. Looks like brass. It even has the nice yellow or greenish tinge to make it look like brass. But again, conclusive test. If I scratch it, as you can see, metallic underneath, so probably cast aluminum as well. So that's something that is important. These actually interesting, these two lamps. This one, I actually found 3 of these large ones in a dumpster at a newly constructed house. Sometimes you will see people, when they're staging the house and stuff, will have all this decor. Even if it doesn't work, they'll take old lamps, they'll put them in there. This one, the nice thing about this one is very heavy, usually because there is a nice sanded weight or cement weight down there. You do have to make sure you take that off. But all I have to do is, in order to get this entire cord off, unscrew that bolt. As well, the nice thing about these, because they are larger, I just have to unscrew it like this. This entire thing, once it gets all off here, as you can see, it's just gonna fold apart. Now I have my truck, so I don't have to worry about trying to get it into the car. But almost off. There it is, it's coming. You can see, there you go. There is the rest of the wire on this. And there it is in different parts. As you can see, there's another layer here. It's got screws. I just have to unscrew this. These heads will pop off. The wire will go to these. There's some aluminum in here. The nice thing, as I said, well, put a magnet to it. This entire thing, outer casing, is going to be metal. So some really nice tin shred here. Before someone asks, yes, this is more of like a structural pipe. But this will not go into my steel pile. It has to go tin shred because the thickness of this steel is not thicker than a 1/4 inch. So never mind that. If it was steel, if it was stronger, it'd be worth a couple cents more. But again, I'm not going to complain at 10 to 13 cents a pound because I have never seen tin shred priced at that. So really nice scrappable item here. Like I said, the only thing that will not be scrapped is this sand block here. Like I said, this is tin shred, some nice copper, 60% copper wire, some nice brass as well in here. If you look at the outlet, turn this to the camera, there you can see some brass, little plug-ins. I will actually just take a pair of pliers and pull that little piece of brass out, put it into my brass pile. The last lamp I want to show you, this one here, I found this on Garbage Day too. This is an older style. Unfortunately, it is broken. But what's interesting about this one is you can tell it's older by the cord. A lot of older styles, look at the old plug here with some nice brass prongs. The cord is usually like a meshy style or fabric style. It is very frayed. But if I take a magnet to this one, you can see it is magnetic all the way down, except the bottom. The bottom, you can see it is non-magnetic. And the nice thing about this one is if I take a file to this one, you can see right there, that is brass. So this bottom here, I've got probably 2.5 pounds of brass right here on the bottom. It's a beautiful piece. Very ornate. Look at these nice lion claw legs, if you will. Unfortunately, I would love if this still worked, but again, definitely want to check the base of these. Currently, clean brass right now is going for $2.85 a pound in London, Ontario. So great source of brass here. I do not find these old ones a lot. I was very lucky. Make sure you do check your lamps, guys, before you scrap them or before you drive away. Like I said, this was on garbage day. Probably several people drove right by it thinking, oh, it's a lamp, it's not worth anything. At first glance I saw it, like I said, I knew that it was worth some money, scrappable. I did check it to see if it worked. Unfortunately, it doesn't. I also love the style of this. As you can see, look at the size of that outlet there. This instead of instead of aluminum, is actually copper inside. There's like a ceramic coating, and inside there is some copper I can see. So going to be interesting taking this one apart. But as I said, this entire pole here is metal. The bottom is brass. This is going to be actually classified, this wire, because it has an outer coating as well as 2 strands inner coating, unfortunately, as 40% copper recovery because of the 2 coatings, which is right now going for $1.23 a pound. I am going to make sure that there are also on the plugs here some brass screws. I want to make sure I take those, put them in my brass. Great piece. Unfortunately, it doesn't work, as I said, because it would be a really cool piece to send into a vintage shop or sell online. But like I said, it is worn, so I'm going to get the scrap money for it. Divert all of these from the landfill. Don't worry, Mom, saving this one. But again, make sure, guys, before you separate them, scrap them, leave them, make sure you check the metals because they are well worth your time picking them up. A lot of goodies on it. And like I said, find them all the time. Quick video. Hope you enjoyed it. Please comment down below, like, share, subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one. Tin Man out.